Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from OKTruth9183 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit. And it says, am I the arsehole for being the reason kids can't play on communal space? So, I recently moved into an apartment complex and have been loving it so far. For a little needed explanation, my building is just south of a grilling area / open grass space. This is the communal area I'm talking about. From the north it's bordered by more units, from the west it has a busy street, and the east has our parking lot. Now, when we first moved in, I would constantly see kids playing. My balcony overlooks the communal grilling / grass area, and my first thoughts were, finally, kids doing kid stuff. But if it stayed that way, I wouldn't be posting here. The problem started with the kids hiding between the cars or playing, leading them to scratch not only my car, but the neighbors from my building too. Not just once, but multiple times. I reached out to the leasing office for help as to what can be done. I explained the entire situation with pictures of scratches not only on my car, but my neighbors sent me their car scratches as well. Come to find out, kids under the age of 17 can't be outside by themselves according to the lease rules / policies. They gave me 3 options. I can go up to the kids to tell them to go back to their houses / apartment. I didn't feel comfortable with this option as kids these days really don't listen to anyone. I can call the leasing office every time I see them to report the lease violation. Or I can call the police, show them the lease violation and have them escort the kids back to their homes. Obviously, number 3 is a huge escalation that I didn't want to do, so I chose option 2 and included pictures from my balcony of the kids by themselves, still playing in between the cars. The office followed up with me saying that the unit those kids are from are on their last chance before the violations become reason enough for eviction. Apparently they've had these lease violations reported on them before. I was explaining this to my friend as she was seeing me take pictures from my balcony, and she called me an insensitive arsehole. She said that because I'm not a parent, I can't imagine how tiring it must be for a parent to watch their kids outside after work when their parents deserve to relax. She started saying I need to be a part of their village. I kept trying to tell her that there are other places for these kids to play. Our complex has 3 fenced playgrounds specifically for kids, still require parental supervision, that they could play in, so I didn't think I'm in the wrong, but now I'm second guessing myself. So am I being a Karen or the arsehole? Look, straight away, you said that they're on their last chance. It pretty much tells me everything I need to know. And they're scratching your car, they're damaging your property. It sounds like you wouldn't have had a problem if they were just messing around on the grassed area, but the fact that they're running in between your cars, damaging your cars, yeah, it takes the piss. They've obviously had multiple warnings before, and people are fed up of it. But Bulbasaur Ranch says, sounds like your friend is the type of parent that thinks everybody else needs to be responsible for her kids. We call those people shitty parents, not the arsehole. Brandon the Boyd says, yep, it takes a village to raise a child is being intentionally misconstrued by the friend to make OP look and feel bad. No, OP does not need to be a part of their village. Your village is made up of your family, close friends, and any services like childcare and school. Your village does not contain Brian from Unit 505 and Sarah from Unit 230 unless they have proactively offered to be a part of the village. Also, they're scratching cars and causing damage. OP even said it's not a problem they are there, it's that they're damaging property when they are. They could do anything elsewhere and yet. And Lake Glenn says not the arsehole. The parents of these young people have had plenty of warning. They have apparently been told not to do plenty of things or face eviction, and they can't or just don't care. Or the kids don't care. I'm putting parents and kids in quotation marks because in this instance, it doesn't seem that either term really quite applies. So it was about a week later that OP came in to update their post and says, at the suggestion of my leasing office, I put an outside camera on my balcony, specifically looking at the cars in the parking lot. While my partner and I were out, left my car and took his, I got a motion notification and was able to catch the kids in the act of not only scratching my car, but the 2 other neighbors as well. When I got home, I showed my neighbours the video, and we agreed together that with the video evidence and previous discussion with the leasing office, that we would be pressing charges for property damage. We filed a police report with a non-emergency number. After we had the police report, we took it to the leasing office with a video, and per the agent there, they will be looking into evict the tenant. I ended up sending them the video of the kids, and they will be using that as further evidence along with the previously reported lease violations. As for my friend from the previous post, she's now going on a crusade to warn our mutual friends how terrible and an apathetic of a person I am. Honestly, thank you for the comments. I felt better knowing I wasn't the arsehole. An edit to answer the questions in the comments: all kids 10 and under. Parents warned with more than 4 lease violations. There are playgrounds for kids, but this area isn't it. OK says, were they intentionally scratching cars? Either way, there is no reason for them to play in a parking lot, and you're part of the village by keeping the kids away from the cars. Open Monkey says, the kids in my complex love playing in the parking lot, riding their bikes in front of cars, jumping out in front of cars, not looking where they are going. I dread the day when one of them gets hurt. There's also a park right next door. The parents just can't be bothered to take them. Whatever says, we had a similar situation in my old apartment complex, and a 6-year-old kid was hit by a utility truck and died in the parking lot. Next day, the kids were all out playing in the parking lot without parental supervision like nothing happened. Major Noodles says, with your friend's attitude towards parenting, if she ever has kids, they're going to turn out to be awful people. Opie says, thank God we're not friends anymore, because I agree with you. Now our next story comes from the Off My Chest subreddit from Unusual Quantity 476 and says, I ruined my sister's wedding. I need advice. So, as the title says, I ruined my sister's wedding. It all happened yesterday, so I'm still very emotional about it and freaking out. Please forgive me if it's a little jumbled. My big sister's wedding was yesterday. I wore a pastel pink colored dress that we picked out together for me to wear about 8 months ago. 14 of us were supposed to be staying in a cottage the night before and get ready together the morning of, but my sister changed her mind a couple of days before and decided she just wanted the bridal party there, which I wasn't a part of. If we all stayed as planned, then this wouldn't have happened, but it was her choice. I don't blame her at all, I'm just explaining what happened. Anyway, the 6 of us who were no longer staying at the cottage got separate hotel rooms nearby, and everyone was just meeting up at the ceremony with everyone else. The main part of the ceremony went fine, but my sister gave me a couple of dirty looks during it, and then when it came to the pictures, I went to have one taken with my mum. But my sister started screaming at me because apparently in a certain light, my dress looks white, so it'd look stupid in her wedding pictures. I genuinely don't think it did, but I didn't say that. I just reminded her that she helped me pick it, and then I said I have another dress at the hotel I can change into. But she didn't calm down, she just kept screaming in my face. Her now husband said to go get it changed and it'd be fine, so I apologized profusely and left. About an hour later, after I got changed into a black dress that I originally bought to wear for a meal that was planned for today, I went to the reception party and she'd already had a couple of drinks and was dancing. Happily, but as soon as she seen me walk in, she went into a blind rage. She walked over screaming at me and grabbed me by my hair and said that she doesn't want me there, and that I've already ruined her day, so why did I come back, and so on. So I apologized again and again before quickly leaving because I didn't ever want to ruin her big day or make it even worse than I already did. I spent the rest of the day/night crying. I texted her this morning apologizing again. She hasn't replied, and I don't want to keep messaging or anything because she'd be on her honeymoon now, and I don't want to ruin that as well. But it's weird because I've never seen her like this. Like she's my best friend since I was a small child. I was born when she was 8, so I've always looked up to her. So I've genuinely messed up big time, and I need advice on how to fix it when she gets home because I can't not have her in my life. She's my everything. Please help me. Now, first up, let's just get this out of the way that you didn't ruin anything. You wore the dress that you both picked out 8 months ago. She approved of it. It's not your fault that suddenly it looked white in a certain light. That's not your fault. And even so, you immediately offered the change when she was freaking out about it. You apologized and went to fix it, and then you came back in a black dress. Literally the opposite of white. And then she chose to physically hurt you by pulling your hair and screaming at you again, Whether it's wedding stress, her drinking, or something else entirely, it doesn't really matter. There's no excuse for what she did to you. It's just abusive. She attacked you for apparently wearing clothes that she approved of. And I wouldn't be apologizing to it at all, because if anything, she owes you an apology, and I would seriously be considering what's going on in the background here. Someone that's willing to pull your hair like that, I'm not sure how I would want someone like that around me. Competitive Bill says you didn't mess up. You were very respectful and didn't even argue with her about changing. There's pent up anger on her side, and she took it out on you, which was not right. She needs to apologize to you. You already apologized initially. Truthfully, I don't think it had anything to do with you directly. She just saw you as the easiest target to let out at, which is so wrong. Opie says, so you do think she'll talk to me again once she's calmed down, if that's it? I don't feel like I need an apology from her though. I just want to be back on talking terms again, Do you think it might be pent up anger from the stress of the wedding? Commenter replies saying, you don't feel like you need an apology from her. She attacked you and humiliated you in front of people over a dress she helped you choose. This girl has issues. I wouldn't want that in my life. Why the hell are you apologizing? Opie says, yeah, but she's my big sister. She wouldn't have meant to do it. She's not normally like this. We're best friends. Commenter says to OP, people treat you how you allow them to. If you show them you are someone they can walk all over and be horrible to, and you just get over it, that is what will keep happening. You didn't ruin anything. She chose the pink dress herself. She yelled at you, humiliated you, then physically assaulted you. If you let that go without some sort of apology, the person you are really hurting is yourself. If you don't respect yourself, others are going to think they don't have to respect you either. Opie says, yeah. After writing back to a couple of comments where I'm defending her, I'm realizing she probably just overreacted and it wasn't actually my fault. It's probably just the stress of the wedding and everything. But I do respect myself. I just don't think it's necessary for an apology off her. It was her special day, Uptown Lurker says, she may need a target for her feelings and it may continue to be you for a while. It can be difficult for people to admit they were being completely unreasonable, which she was. Just know you didn't do anything wrong. I know her anger and you feeling like you're the cause of her day being ruined is hurting you. Her wedding wasn't ruined either. It's fine. Where are your parents in all of this? Opie says, I hope you're right, honestly. It was supposed to be the perfect day for her. I helped her plan and pay for so much of it. And my mum says she doesn't want to get involved because I should have known better than to go to the reception after getting changed, because it's common sense to know that she would still be angry with me, especially after she had a drink. Which I agree, it was pretty stupid and a little selfish of me, really. Commenter says to the OP, she grabbed you by the hair and essentially dragged you out of the reception. Her overreaction to the pink dress is one thing, but this borders on assault. You did everything you could in the moment to fix things. You apologized profusely. Nothing more you can do here. Her behavior was completely out of line. Does she always treat you this way? Like your gum she just scraped off her shoe. I realize it's easier said than done, but if it was me, I wouldn't be speaking to her again until I got an apology. But I also wouldn't hold my breath waiting for one. She may be older, but that doesn't give her the right to push you around. Not okay. You did not ruin her day. She did that all on her own. Opie says no, she never treats me this way. That's why I know it was a bad mess up. The only times we've argued or anything in the past is when I've just been oversensitive about something she said. But it's never shouting and screaming, and it's definitely never got physical ever. Pretty says, what was the last thing that you were oversensitive about? Because this just sounds like manipulation to me. I'm so glad a comment called that out, because, if OP thinks they're oversensitive, it's just screaming at me that the sisters turned it around on OP in the past. But OP did reply to that and saying, I don't remember the last thing, but it's normally just sibling type insults like making fun of my weight and things like that. It's nothing serious, just mean jokes that I take to heart instead of laughing off like a normal person. And there we go. 6 Pound Puppy says, how can she be your best friend and treat you like this? She's being a horrible bridezilla, and you should not grovel and indulge her cruel nonsense as though you deserve it. Accept it for exactly what it is. She's being a nasty biatch, and there's no excuse good enough. Distance yourself from her till she apologizes. If she doesn't, find yourself a real best friend. Opie says, I think she was just stressed out because of the wedding and that everything just got to her. Plus, she's not really the apologizing type. Normally if she said something to hurt me, we just sort of ignore it and move on because it doesn't happen often. And it's never that serious. She's my sister. We sort of have to put up with certain things. Savings ad says, your sister is in the wrong. I don't think anything you did was going to make her feel better. Sounds like something ticked her off about you before the wedding. You even said she helped pick the dress. That's not on you how it looked in lighting. Opie says, yeah. After reading and replying to most of the comments, I'm starting to think she was just really stressed out with everything and picked me to have a go at to get her anger out. And it was a short time later that Opie came in what was titled their final update and says, for anyone who is interested, I didn't ruin her wedding, at least not in any way that I could have stopped. Apparently she's always hated me from the moment I was born. The only reason she was always spending so much time with me was because my mother was asking her to for family. So basically my dad left before I was born. I never asked about him because the way I always saw it was, if he loved me, he'd be here. But my sister blamed me for him leaving. He didn't want any more kids after. My sister and my mum don't believe in abortions. So when she got pregnant, he gave her a choice and then he left. My mum told my sister the reason he left was because he didn't want me. I've spoken to my mum. She said it was a heat of the moment comment and she didn't think my sister would hold on to it. I also had some problems with my hotel room. I booked for 4 days, but the night after the wedding, a worker came to ask me when I'd be leaving the room because there's other guests needing it. I explained that I booked it for 4 days. They said I rang them and cancelled the remainder of my stay, which I didn't, so I had to get to a different room. It was my sister playing a prank. The prank caused her to go on her honeymoon alone. Her husband rang me yesterday telling me everything about why she kicked off, about the hotel, and said he's looking into getting an annulment because she's not the person he thought she was. So yeah, that's basically it. Oh, that is absolutely awful. I mean, the comments in the first part of it was saying in it itself that it seems like there was something going on in the background. The sister has always been this way towards OP, and OP's just had to accept it because OP's, air quotes, oversensitive about everything. And it sounds like mum's just enabled this behavior all along. Absolutely awful. But anti-programming says, I read your post. I saw no fault in your dress or reaction whatsoever. Your sister was aware of your dress, so you don't need to take the blame on that. Honestly, she will resent you for this, but there was nothing you could have done. Her now ex-husband knows what's going on, and that's why he ended things with her. So you helped him in a way by showing him who your sister truly is. She dug her grave. Amethyst says, you need therapy. I read your comments on your other post and she's always been awful to you. You just didn't see it because you wanted her love and approval so badly. You did nothing wrong at the wedding or by being born. You didn't get to choose your conception or your dad leaving. You deserve better. One of these nights says, I hope your mum realizes the mess she has made because who blames one child on their other child's dad leaving? Another commenter says, I understand the heat of the moment situation, but she had ample opportunity over the course of their lives to correct it, and it doesn't sound like she stepped in soon enough. OP, if you're reading this, you do not deserve that kind of treatment. You seem like a genuinely lovely girl who loves her sister. I think therapy would help a great deal. You shouldn't have to sort through all these feelings alone. Unsuccessful bitch says, damn. Well, at least she wasted no time in showing her true colors for, soon-to-be ex, brother-in-law's annulment. Please talk to a therapist or at least try to journal some of your feelings as you process everything you learned about her true feelings. This new info will reframe all your previous memories, and it can be quite overwhelming, so don't be afraid to reach out for support. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with that if that was you? Finding that out about your sister, your mum, how would you move past that? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from Successful Peanut 6132. And it says, Am I the arsehole for refusing to have my sister-in-law's service dog at my wedding? I once put an Am I the Arsehole a long time ago and it was super helpful. So maybe this will be helpful again. I'm getting married in 5 months with my fiance, and we sent our invitations last week. Context, my sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife, has a medical dog and she had brain cancer around 5 years ago. She has seizures where she feels dizzy 20 seconds beforehand and then goes unconscious for a couple of minutes. This happens 3 to 4 times a week. She has a dog who senses the seizure 1 to 2 minutes beforehand, and it gives her time to lay down in a safe place and warn people that a seizure is coming. The dog, Labrador, is an angel, but sister-in-law, not so much. She is not a good person. She claims wrong facts about my fiancé and I's respective fields, med and biology/environment, and screams at us when we politely call her out. We don't like her, but we're civil because my brother-in-law loves her. My own sister, on the other hand, is my favorite person on earth. She is my maid of honor. She is very allergic to dogs. If she's in the same room, her eyes get red and very itchy. She sneezes constantly, and she has a little asthma attack. Antihistamines don't work on her. She isn't an entitled person. Prefer to sacrifice herself than to penalize the person with a service dog, but if in the same closed room with a dog for 5 hours, she will obviously have a strong asthma attack. Me and my fiancé want my maid of honor to be comfortable in our wedding, and it's shallow, but I want her to feel pretty in the pictures and not to have swollen red eyes. And we want our sister-in-law to be safe, but we thought that with her husband always around her, she will have someone to lean on. We even proposed to bring a +1 to be there for her at all instants. And the venue is 50-person rooms, so it's not possible to have them separated enough and no backyard wedding in winter. We wanted to announce those propositions face to face, but sister-in-law cancelled our lunch together last minute and the invites needed to be sent, so we wrote her on Messenger all our points and propositions. And we thought it was a good idea because it gave her the time to think and not feel pressured to answer our invites at the immediate moment, compared to a phone call or face to face. She called me and screamed that I was ableist and an arse for suggesting to remove her from our medical help, and that I want her to create a scene at our wedding and get a concussion from falling. Brother-in-law just said, what she says goes, and we don't know what he thinks. Mother-in-law is furious and starts to say that she won't come to the wedding if sister-in-law can't bring her dog. I know I'm biased because I obviously prefer my sister, and because I myself have food allergies and believe allergies should be accommodated in my wedding. What do I do? Am I the arsehole? Is it an arsehole move of me to suggest that? Edit. After reading some comments, I should just say one thing. No outdoor wedding was possible. The time is in the winter because mother-in-law, brother-in-law and sister-in-law and other cousins travel in the USA for 3 months, so the time is only because we wanted my fiancé's family to be present. The place was chosen because it is wheelchair accessible and we have 2 people that need wheelchairs. My grandma and my fiancé's aunt, so sadly no, it was not possible to have big spaces / outside. The place we chose was our only option in our city, and even there we went over budget. And the place needs to be in our city, and this year I wanted my grandma to be present because of her medical treatments. Salacious Peach says no one's an arsehole here. In disability justice we talk about how some accessibility needs are incompatible with others. Some people are in wheelchairs and can't use the stairs. Some cane users find slopes are dangerous and can't use ramps. Some people are autistic and can't be around loud sounds. Some people are hard of hearing and need sounds to be loud in order to hear them. And yeah, some people have debilitating dog allergies and other people have service dogs. There are some cases where you just can't compromise and you have to make choices knowing that someone is going to get the raw end. You physically cannot have both your sister and sister-in-law in the same place. This isn't something you decided. Nature and genetics and the nature of time and space have created the situation. You have to side with somebody. You just have to. Both is not an option here, and you've decided to side with a person who has been nice and supportive to you instead of the one who belittles you. That's incredibly understandable. You just didn't frame it in a way they would listen to, because someone who would belittle you for your job is going to belittle you for every other decision you make. So they're deflecting it onto you being a jerk, but also, where is your future spouse in all this? Who did they want at the wedding when they face the fact that both is not an option? That's it, I'm over this, says not the arsehole. There are 2 real medical needs. You cannot separate sister-in-law from the dog. A true support animal, but sister-in-law is not essential to the wedding. Your maid of honor who cannot be around dogs is. You are not ableist, but sister-in-law is. If she cannot see, your maid of honor also has medical issues and can't be excluded from the wedding. And another commenter says, I would never choose someone I don't like to come to my wedding over my sister who is my best friend. Sister-in-law should offer to bow out. She knows you are not friends. She knows your sister is extremely allergic to dogs. She should offer to not come. Jesus, she has some serious main character syndrome. You guys aren't even friends. The fact that she's throwing a fit makes me think she loves the attention. I think this is a great time to say, hey, we're not friends. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Maybe you got a different opinion on the matter. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.